Good morning, everybody. Patty Ann here. Hang on just a second. April in our Facebook group asked if I could help her figure out how to make a box into which she could put her soap. Aren't those soaps cool? I can almost smell them from here. But anyway, she told me exactly the sizes that she needed. And then I created this one because I wasn't sure what she wanted, if it was something for shipping or something just to look pretty to display her soaps in. And she said this one worked out well, so I'm going to show her how to do it, and anybody else. If you need to make a box for something, this will kind of help to give you an idea of how to adjust the measurements. So let's see, I better write this down so I don't forget. She said she needs the soap, let's see, she needs it to be 3.5 inches wide. Okay, we can see that in the picture there. By 4 inches high by 1 inch thick. Okay, I've written that down so I don't forget because I would. All right, let's go to Cricut Design Space now. And this picture, or this part, shows the one that I've already done for her, and I believe that it will fit her soap perfectly. And she's welcome to use this one if she wants to. I'll save it, and I'll have the file number that you can click on down below the video. But anyway, if she wants to make her own, I'm going to show how. And by the way, if you do want to make this one, you remember how to get rid of the word soap in here if you don't want to cut it out? So the first thing I'd have to do is go to detach the score lines. And then once I detach it, I can get rid of the word soap and gone. The other thing I wanted to show you was this. If I highlight the box and I come down here to where it is, right here, I can right click on it and then I can go to Image Info. Now, I also used a square in this, but I used the bride box card. So I can click on that, and this is it. And then all I need to do is click on it here and say insert it. Okay, so let me hide the one that I had done. All right, you'll notice there's something crazy right off the bat that I would not want in this, and that's the bride. So how do I get rid of her? Well, the first thing I've got to do is come up here and ungroup the whole thing. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the bride and get rid of her. But wait, there's bride left behind. How do I get rid of her? Well, if I click on this to use the contour button, it's not available. Why would that be? Well, if you look over here in the layers panel, look how many layers there are in this. 1, 2, the score layer and the cut layer. Remember the rule for using the contour feature or tool. You can only have one layer selected or shown. So I can hide this one. And now if I click over here on this, I need to click on it because notice nothing shows up down here. And you might be thinking, well, there's only one layer now. The contour doesn't work. It's because you need to reselect it. And now look over here. Contour works. So I'm going to contour out these cut lines because I don't want her to cut out. And hit the X. And she's gone. Okay, and now I'm going to come over here and make my cut lines or score lines come back. Okay, there they are. Okay, so she said she needs this thing to be 3.5 inches wide. So what I did was I came over here to the shape tool and I got a square. And I made it, actually, I came up here and undid this. And I made the width 3.5. Oops, not 35, 3.5. And then I made the height, well, let's see, that didn't change. 3.5, and I'll hit enter. And then she said she wanted the height 4 inches. So I changed this to a 4 and hit enter. So that's how big this area needs to be in here for her soap to fit. So the first thing I did was I just grabbed everything and kind of stretched it. And I'm going to come down here to zoom out a little bit. And now when I take this box over here, well, sure enough, it fits in there that way, but it's way taller than it needs to be. So I could, if I wanted to, unlock the lock and just make it shorter like that. Let's see if he still fits. Yeah, he still fits perfectly. There's a problem though. So I fixed this. I fixed how tall and how wide the box is going to be. But let's see, she wanted it to be 1 inch thick. So this is the thickness here. So what I would do is get a shape, and again, I'd get a square, and I would make this square 1 inch wide. And then I'm just going to make it taller. So I'll just unlock this and make it maybe 4 inches tall. That's a good one. Okay, so this is how wide she needs it to be. Now it's a bit wider than she needs. So here's what I did. I actually can duplicate this guy. Okay, now we have 2 of them. This is how wide she needs it to be. And I can skinny this one up to how much I got to get rid of in this box. Okay, that'd probably be a good amount to get rid of. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to stretch this so it's longer. And I'm going to slice. But look, when I grab all this stuff, whoops, I didn't mean to grab that one. When I grab all this stuff, the slice tool isn't available. Do you remember the rule for the slice tool? 2 and only 2 layers can be selected to slice. And let's look over here and see how many we have. 1, 2, 3. It's that little stinking score line that's getting us again. What I need to do with that score line is I need to detach it. Okay. So then I can click the box, hold my shift key down and click this square, the skinny one. And now I can slice. All right, so I'm going to slice this part out. Slice this out. Whoops, I don't want to move that. I want to grab this guy. And I think, is this him? Yeah, I can grab him there. Well, I'm not having luck with that, so I'll just move him over and get rid of that. Okay, so now what I have to do is I've got to duplicate this. And there may be an easier way to do this. This is just what I've come up with so far. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to contour the big part out of this one. Okay, so what I'm left with is the smaller part. And then I'm going to come to this one and I'm going to contour it. And I'm going to contour out the smaller part. And then I'm going to bring this one up here. And I need to get in there really close so I can make sure I'm doing it perfectly. I'm going to make it so these 2 butt up to each other perfectly. Okay, then I'm going to grab this one, hold down my shift key, grab this one, and weld. Okay, they must not have been overlapping because something doesn't look right to me, so I'm going to undo that. And it must need to be over a little bit more to overlap. And now, I'm going to click both of them, this one and this one. And I'm going to click weld. There we go, that's what I want. Okay, now I can go back out. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to take that same bar that I used bring it over here. And it doesn't matter exactly where I put it because I'm going to weld the leftover stuff back together. Okay, so let me move this guy so he's not involved. I can X him out actually. And let's see, put this back there. So I'm going to come over here and click this dark bar, hold down my shift key, and either here on the layers panel or over here I'm going to click the box, and then I'm going to slice. Okay, and I can just get rid of that. I can just totally get rid of these things now. I'll keep the 1-inch one to make sure it's going to fit right. Okay, so now what I have to do again is I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, once again I'm going to click on one of them. Contour, I'm going to contour out the big side again first. Okay, so then I'm left with what I actually want. And then I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to contour. And I'm going to contour out the small section. Then I'm going to bring this one over. And again, I might want to go ahead and zoom in so I can really see what I'm doing and move this down. Okay, that looks good, but I'm not positive if they're overlapping. Okay, that is almost good. All right, now I'm going to click this one, hold down my shift key, click this, and weld. And if they are overlapping, you shouldn't be able to see a seam. Obviously, they were not overlapping because I still see a seam there. So I'm going to hit the undo button. And I'm going to move this guy just over a hair. Just a hair. There we go. All right, take this one, shift key, this one, and weld. Okay. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So now I can just go back in here like this. And the next thing I need to do is I need to bring those score lines back in. Remember those? Yeah. So let's see. Let's move those over. And actually, I'm going to right click on them, or right click on the card or the box and say send to the back. So now my score lines are on the front. And they should be just where I need them to be, except this one here needs to be moved in some. Okay, there are actually 2 score lines that we need to get rid of because they're not placed where they should be. So I'm going to click on the score lines. They should be highlighted up here on the layers panel. And I'm going to come down to contour. And I'm going to contour out the ones that aren't right. So I think it's this one on the left and this one on the very far right. Okay, there we go. So now they've both been contoured out. These other score lines that are on here are okay. So in order to put score lines back into this, all you have to do is come over here to the Shapes tool and click on the score line. And there it is right there. So I'm going to bring it down, let's see, to here. Now notice it wants to line up right here where that angle starts. So I'm going to bring it over there to the angle, start it up there. And I'm just going to drag it longer. And that's all I have to do for that one. Then I'm going to right click on it, highlight it, right click on it, and say copy. And right click again and say paste. Or you could duplicate, sorry. I could have come up to duplicate. And this one goes right over here. You can see where the angle changes again right here. That's where the score line or the fold line is going to be. So we're going to put that right there. Perfect. And then what we need to do now is to go like this and get all the score lines and make sure they're all selected with the box and go attach. So that's pretty much all you need to do. If we go to make it, well, let me get rid of the, well, I said I was keeping that 1-inch one to see if it was going to fit perfectly. Let me right click on him, Send him to the front and let's see. Yep, he's going to fit perfectly. There's a little bit of extra room, but that might be fine because maybe she'd like a little packing material in there or something. So let me get rid of this. Let's just look at Make It. And there it is. So that's it. It's really easy to make a box any size you need it to be. If you want to, I'll have the link below to the Cricut access, the number, for Cricut Design Space, so that you can just use mine if you want to, or you can just work on making your own. And of course, you can decorate it any way you want. You could, put words on here, maybe the scent of your soap or something like that. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, you guys. If you like my videos, please give them a thumbs up and comment, and hit that little bell if you're subscribed and you're not getting notifications. Subscribe and hit that little bell, and also share this with your friends in other groups if that's allowable. Okay, remember the links are down there below for our Facebook group and for this particular project. And then my affiliate links are down there too. And again, thank you to those of you who are using them. I really appreciate it. Help support the group. So, see you again soon. Bye-bye.